Hey, good morning, good morning. What's up, y'all? How we doing? How we doing? Happy Monday. Another fresh start to the week here. Let's see what the market has in store for us this week. Definitely got a packed week this week. If you are in our Discord here, we are talking about it in the chat. And we got a couple of things here to really throw our week here for a ride. But we'll jump into all that in just a minute. Just gonna look at some strikes here. We're getting a little bit of a gap up here. 348, 413. So I like where we're at here for Qs and SPY. I am going to be playing today contracts that expire tomorrow. Going to try to get more into that. But we're at a good spot here for some contracts for today as well. Especially here with QQQ and SPY having an ATR of about 5 or 6 points, right? Let's say they're both at about 6 points here. Try to keep it to 2 to 3 points up and down if you're trading today's expiration. Right, so for example here, QQQ sitting at about 348, right? We're set to open here. I definitely like the big psychological strikes that we have around us, right? 350 and 345 are going to be some good targets here for the day. Puts us just right around here, right around our 2-hour squeeze, right? 345 kind of gets us to the bottom, almost there. And then that 350 gets us a little bit out the top, right? And we have yesterday's high and yesterday's low, right, from Friday, right around there as well. So again, for QQQ, really like that 350 call for today and that 345 for today. I'm going to be playing tomorrow's though. Jump over to QQQ here. That's what we're talking about. So again, this is today's, tomorrow's right here, right? And we got this 350 call that closed right at Beast. I think just a couple cents below Beast here. So again, a really good strike here to play today. I really like this 345 put for today as well. Had a lot of volume, so really like to see that. But I'm going to buy myself some time here, and I'm going to go with tomorrow's strikes. And I might open up a little bit, but I'm going to start with those same strikes just for tomorrow. Depending on what the charts look like here at open, I might move out a little bit more, or I might keep them. Let's see. But I'm going to try to keep the strikes here to our usual price point of about 50 cents, 80 cents, something like that, 30 cents. Even playing one day out, still some good strikes at those price points. And so SPY here, a similar situation, right? Again, ATR of about 6 points. We're sitting here at about 413, right? For today, I definitely like that 410 put and that 415 call. So let's jump back over to SPY here. And again, had a lot of calls here at Beast or near Beast for our major indices, right? And we have those daily expirations here for our major indices, so we're able to get a little bit more of a closer look at options contracts that might be at Beast. So again, liking this 415 for today. Could even go a little bit farther out for tomorrow. I'm going to start at 415 for today though. Or I mean for tomorrow, sorry. And the same thing here. Just going to do this 410 put for tomorrow. Just buying myself a little bit of time here, right? But tomorrow's strikes still very volatile. So if we get some nice moves, they will move nicely still. But just a reminder, y'all, we do have a packed week this week, right? We've got the Fed, right? Uncle Powell here on Wednesday with an interest rate decision. That's going to be during the session here at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And then he comes out and speaks 30 minutes later, right? So we're going to have a nice shakeup here on Wednesday. We do have AMD earnings after the bell Tuesday. We have Apple earnings after the bell Thursday. So definitely some major events coming here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then our usual jobless claims and non-farm payroll Thursday and Friday. So we got a packed week here. We got end of month tomorrow. Y'all already know what I'm gonna say next. Gotta be patient, right? Gotta be patient. Let them settle here, especially here at the beginning of the week. Right, can get kind of crazy, so gotta be patient here. Let price action settle here in these first 30 minutes, right? And let's see if we get some moves here before the Fed on Wednesday. Again, we could see a lot of rotation here at the opens through that event on Wednesday. We've been seeing a lot of rotation here at the opens pretty much every single day for the last couple of weeks. So just something to keep in mind, right? But alright, y'all, ding, 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 here we go. Getting a nice pop here so far. Nice little team pop. Oh, but only very short-lived, right? YM here continuing to get the pop, NQ pulling back now. So again, immediately getting that rotation, right? So let's be patient here, right? As soon as we get some rotation, we know we need to chill here for a second and let things settle. So again, the rotation here being NQ pulling back a little bit, and then over here YM popping, right? Ultimately keeps ES right here, right? Keeps ES at bay. So let's see. We are right at the previous day's open here on ES, this white short dash line here, right? This like dotted line with no number. And here still seeing YM going a little bit higher here, NQ dropping a bit. Pretty decent open for tick here, opened well above 1,000 up here near this positive 1,400. as always, looking for this initial test of 0 on tick, right? But if NQ starts to maybe bounce here and YM keeps going higher, we could see some sustained ticks of positive 1,000, right? Something else to keep an eye on. We've got VIX open here as well, right at about 20.5, taking a little crack under that 20.5. Let's see what we get here. Nice little bounce for NQ here, causing ES here to now bounce a little bit higher and away from that previous day's open, getting up here to 4170. We've been talking a lot about this 4170, a very, very crucial level here for ES. Strong pop here in NQ, pulling back here in YM, but enough to give ES the bounce here. Nice move, nice move. And we're not too far off from yesterday's high here on ES. Let's see what we get here. Wouldn't mind a little run up to here, right? Sustain ticks at 1,000 and then ultimately still looking for that 0 test of tick. Maybe we reject up here at this high from Friday and come back down, maybe retest VWAP or the 5-minute 21. Let's jump on over and see how these strikes are doing. Nice little move for SPY here off of its open level, getting up to its previous day's open and getting close here to our open range sell zone. Really nice pop here for Qs. Qs getting up here to our open range sell zone. We got some squeeze tops up here too. And yesterday's high, getting close. Jump over back over here to NQ. And getting that similar setup, right? Getting up here to a 2-hour squeeze top, yesterday's high. YM already up at our destination sell zone. Could have us a little rollover here near these highs from Friday for NQ and ES. YM a little bit more work to get up to that high from yesterday, but at our destination sell zone already could provide us a level here for the rollover on YM as well. VIX cracking under this previous day's open, right? But again, getting near some levels where we could see a rollover. Let's see if VIX manages to hold on to this level and maybe catches a pop here. Right, a pop in VIX would ultimately bring the market back down. So just checking out here how our contracts are doing. And again, I know these are a little pricier, right? I'm looking at tomorrow's contracts. I might move out here, right, to a couple contracts out. But I'm just pulling information here in these opening minutes. Right, and I like to look at these bigger psychological strikes to pull information from. These typically get a little more volume and give us a little bit more of an accurate read with our Beast tool here. tick trying to hold here at this positive 600. So again, y'all, as always, just being patient here at the opening session of the week. Again, we have Powell here on Wednesday with that interest rate decision. Right, definitely going to shake us up here midweek, especially because that's during the session. Got AMD earnings tomorrow after the bell, Apple earnings Thursday after the bell. So we got us a packed week here. So again, we could just see a lot of waiting, a lot of chop possibly. So just have to stay hyper aware of all these economic events coming up. Nice pop here, nice pop. NQ with a little crack through yesterday's high, alright, and ES getting up here. So again, this is kind of where I want to start seeing this rollover if we're going to get one. Y'all hear me say it all the time, right? Just looking for a good level to put on some risk, and we have arrived here at this level. Doesn't mean it rolls over here immediately, right? So let's give it a second here, see what happens. Again, we're at some squeeze tops here on Qs. And a nice push higher here. Nice push through yesterday's high here for ES. Nice little bounce and tick here to hold up at this positive 750, positive 800 or so. Maybe we see VIX 20 here before a rollover. Jump back over to our contracts here. Starting to like this 410 put here a little bit better, about 75 cents. Would like to see it maybe go a little bit lower, really tap our open range buy zone. Start to peek a little bit farther out here, see what's up. This 344, a little bit closer to our open range buy zone on Qs. 343. We're up here near 350, so I don't know if I want to go as low as 340. Though technically within range tomorrow, but starts to get a little too far from my liking, and we're still popping here, so still expecting premium to drop a little bit on these puts. But again, we're up here, right? We're up at these squeeze tops, we're up at this high from yesterday. Definitely like the pullback here. Near this open range buy zone on this 410 put. I like this here at about this 70-60 cents or so. To see if we get that snap back. Ooh, tick pulling back here now a little bit more, coming down to about positive 300. ADD not really popping here. A little bit stuck. Could see that rollover here. But getting a nice little pop here to hold up here at this level. And VIX starting to stall here at one of our beast levels. Let's see, let's see. Gonna look out a little bit farther here as well on the SPY contracts for tomorrow. It's 409 a little bit cheaper, but I want it to be closer to our open range buy zone. All right, and we still have a little bit of space to get there on most of these contracts. So I'm gonna be patient here. A lot of these puts still have a little bit of room. Yep, and here we go, popping a little bit higher, right? So again, that's why I'm not, just diving in here for the leg back, right? I see that a lot of these put contracts still have a little bit of space to go before they hit their open range buy zones, right? If you're looking at my puts here, this hard orange line, like reddish orange line, is low of day on these charts. So I want to see that line come into our open range buy zone, maybe base a little bit there, and then maybe give it a little shot, right? Even then, still staying hyper aware, I've got my B zone not too far below. But again, I like this level, right? Definitely a nice level here for a pullback. Close to getting this interaction here at 0 on tick, right? I want to see this initial interaction as well on tick. VIX continuing to kind of flatline here, right? Could start warming up a little bounce here, which could ultimately pull us back. But again, being patient here, right? The more time we just spend consolidating here at this peak, the better I feel about the pullback. But still, I want to give it a little time. Because I don't want to be the first one in this, right? And if it snaps down and pulls back really fast and I'm not in it, that's okay too, right? Got a lot of session left. Only been about 15 minutes here. Q's a little bit higher here. And ES trying to peek out the top here. YM catching a little bit of a bounce, helping out the gang here. And a nice little push above these highs from Friday. So again, that's why I wasn't rushing to short as soon as we hit these levels, right? They will sometimes just slowly curl over here and just kill premium on both sides before they make that next leg. Back over to our contracts here. Q's going a little bit higher. See how this rotation is doing. YM is popping here a little bit still. But alright, we're seeing some calls here get to our open range sell zone, right? And again, looking at significant strikes here. This 350 call for tomorrow and this 415 call for tomorrow here on QQQ and SPY, right? As our puts get to our open range buy zone. So I'm starting to like what we're seeing here for the pullback. I think I'm going to jump into one of these 410 puts here. Take a little shot near these lows. And I'm in here at 72 cents, right? I'm just buying one contract for now. Just dipping my toes in the water. Again, I want it down really to this level, 66 cents or so. So I'm still expecting a little bit of a move there, right? And up here, we're catching a little bit of a pop, right? And obviously, just like I wasn't rushing to jump in at this high from Friday, right? Expecting a little bit of price action above it. I can also possibly expect a little bit of price action below this level, right? And again, maybe even down to our beast zone. So that's why I'm only in one contract as of right now, right? I can take some damage on this one contract, just losing a buck at a time, which is going to allow me to average down here in a little bit, right? Or if I'm ultimately totally wrong about this direction, I'm at least not in here with 5 contracts and taking a lot of damage. Ooh, a new high of day here on YM. Okay, all of our indices here pushing a high of day. Caddy Pan, leaning bearish? No, I'm not leaning bearish just yet. Not just yet. Just taking a shot here at my significant levels for a probability of a pullback, right? I'm really just playing opening volatility right now. You know, it's only been about 20 minutes here. Market doesn't usually just go in one straight direction for the opening 30 or 40 minutes, right? Or 1 hour. And again, I trade short-term options, right? So I'm just looking for the next leg, right? Ultimately, there's a thesis here that's, you know, you could say, you know, we pull back and go higher and we just go higher throughout the day. Totally possible, right? And again, we have Powell on Wednesday with an interest rate decision. So let's say big money is expecting a number they don't like, right? They could flush us come end of the week. So what do we get at the beginning of the week? A run up, right? But again, I trade short-term options. I'm worried about the next leg. You know, I'm just playing some probabilities here of what the next couple minutes might look like. We are at the highs from Friday, right? We're at our destination sell zone here on our beast tool and all of our indices. So again, I'm just playing probabilities here against our tools, right? Against our beast tool and against these highs from Friday. And so again, right, I am now positioned here in a put for some downside action. Doesn't mean I expect it to happen here in the next minute, right, or in the next 5 minutes. But as long as we're under these red zones here, right, our destination sell zone from our beast tool here, I'm feeling okay about a rollover still. And again, because I'm trading short-term options, right? I'm not trading commons. You know, I'm not trading futures here either. I'm not really worried about what the market's going to do this afternoon, right, at this moment, right, or tomorrow. I'm worried about what the market's going to do here in a few minutes. And so just taking a look around, right, VIX is still holding right at this 20.2. Doesn't mean it doesn't flush here, right, but starting to add some catalyst to what could maybe be a rollover. You know, we're up here at our destination sell zones on our major indices. VIX is flat now at this 20.25. And tick is staying relatively low here and near zero. ADD is even fading here a little bit, starting to crack under its open level. Tick low of day here and cracking under zero. So we sat here for a few minutes. I'm going to increase my risk a little bit and jump into a second one here. I like to have 2 contracts at least, right? And if your account allows it, you know, you can just start really scaling up. But as usual, right, I like to have at least 2 contracts. If we start to make the move in my favor, right, I will quickly trim one to defend the second one. Right, once I have trimmed that first one, let's say at $1 here, right, I'm up 30 cents. So now I have a bigger cushion before the position goes negative on me. Right, if I sell one from 70 cents here at $1, I've picked up 30 cents. Right, so now I have wiggle room 30 cents in the other direction before this goes negative on me. Right, that pretty much gets us down to beast. You know, I could average down near beast and still be green then on the position, for example. But ultimately, right, you know, let's talk upside with this same strategy. I'm able to get out of one here at $1, let's say, profit those 30 cents, and now my second one, right, again, I have less stress because of what we just talked about to the downside. It is easier for you to manage now this position when it starts to run, right? I'm sure we've all been there when we do get lucky and a position starts to really go our direction, right? We start to stress a little bit about the exit, right? Moving up stops, where should we get out, how long should we hold, yada yada yada. Ultimately, maybe you get a little too greedy and it snaps back on you, right? I'm sure plenty of us have had very green positions go red on us in the past, right? And there's nothing more infuriating than that. So again, you know, just trying to keep some peace of mind here by trimming when it starts to go your direction, right? Start to pay for your remaining contracts. You know, if you can do this with a couple contracts, you can eventually have a contract or two at the end totally paid for, right? It can go to zero or it can go to the moon. And you should be able to manage it without stress. And so again, just taking a look around here at our beast tool, right? I'm again looking at significant strikes here. These are all for tomorrow, right? The 350 call and the 415 call here for QQQ and SPY, right? Both are up at our open range sell zone and starting to feel some resistance right at this open range sell zone. Right? The more time we spend here, the better I feel about my put position here on SPY. Right, and then we're getting the same thing over here on our puts. The QQQ 345 put is starting to hold our open range buy zone, and this 410 put as well. Right, so again, I waited until we got down to this level before I jumped in, and so now I'm feeling pretty good because we're just chopping here at my entry, right, just a couple cents off. And again, doesn't ultimately mean that I'm going to be correct, right? I can still be totally wrong about this. But I'm at least getting in where I should get in to possibly catch that reversal, right? I was talking about yesterday's high here on ES and on NQ about getting in for that reversal, but I said, hold on a minute, right? We still had a little bit more space to drop on the put contracts before hitting that open range buy zone. So we waited a minute, and sure enough, we cracked a little bit above those highs from yesterday. Right? Big money knows exactly what we're looking at, right? They know that we pay attention to something as simple as yesterday's high and yesterday's low. Right? So even though many times we do see them come up to the cent and then maybe reverse right at it, right? It's also very typical for them to kind of trickle through, start to produce a head fake, right? Get people really geared up towards this direction, and then they pull the rug on everyone and come back the other way. Again, not saying that's gonna for sure happen, but I'm just playing my probabilities here, right? Right now, the better risk reward is to the downside. We're at some significant levels to pull back at. So I'm just robotically and very simply playing that, right? But again, I'm hyper aware that we could just keep going higher here, right? Obviously, we're coming off weeks of downside. If you watch my preps, right, we've been talking about being in that third Kellner channel to the downside on a lot of names and on our indices. So again, you know, this doesn't have to be the ceiling today. We could go, you know, for a nice long run to the upside. But again, I'm just playing my probabilities, right? We're at our destination sell zone here on our Beast tool. We're up near these highs from Friday. And Q has got a couple squeeze tops here that it would have to really hold above to fire to the upside. And still, VIX is just sideways here at this 20.25, right? A little trickle down here for a fresh low of day, but trying to hold up here at this 20.25, right? Tick continuing to sit here at 0 and even trickle through it a little bit. Again, I'm feeling okay about this rollover. And again, you know, especially as an options trader, this is all you can ask for an entry, right? Come up to a significant level, right? Come up to a key level, and then hold, right? As soon as you start to get this flag, this is a good entry, and honestly, in either direction. You know, no one can really tell you what the direction is going to be out of a flag like this, right? Out of some consolidation after a move. So don't overthink it, right? Sometimes it's just simple. It's just better to keep it simple, pick a side, know your exit plan, and just rock with it. Still holding just right at my entry here. Right, my entry's here at 71 cents. And so we just have to wait. ADD trickling a little bit lower here. Now getting to our open range buy zone on ADD. So this is a good spot for ADD to bounce, but again, would require a couple other things to bounce too, right? We need tick to also bounce for it to get some upside here, and VIX to continue rolling over. Been about 30 minutes here now, y'all. 10 a.m. here on the East Coast, sorry. And a little bounce to hold us up here. So just waiting, y'all. Just waiting. And again, y'all, I'm here playing tomorrow's strikes, right? I bought myself a little bit of time. especially since we have so many economic events this week, right? We could see a lot of chop, right? We could see a lot of chop. You know, overall, we play directional price action here, right? We need moves to the upside, or we need moves to the downside. But in reality, the market most of the time is kind of going sideways. And when we have a lot of events coming up, you know, they really like to just wait, you know, really just mess a lot of people up. So sometimes just buying some time really helps you in your positions here. Ooh, the dollar taking a steep little drop here. Drops in the dollar usually give us upside in the market. Something to keep an eye on here. Down to that daily mean here on the dollar though. But anyways, really good idea to usually buy yourself some time. Oh, getting this drop here. Especially because in drawbacks, right, you know, if you're not playing the same day, you're going to be able to withstand those drawbacks a little bit more. And I'm sure just like myself, you know, many of you also have the problem of jumping into positions too early, right? I still do that to this day sometimes. And so buying a little time is going to allow you to be a little bit wrong before maybe you are ultimately correct. So starting to pull back here a little bit. Getting a little bit of juice out of this put, but not too much, right? Got up to about 78 cents here, but starting to crack above my entry. Let's see if we start to get that pullback. Maybe a nicer pullback as well. We want to see tick roll over here and really crack under zero for these puts to work. Need ADD to let go of our open range buy zone here as well. Start cracking under that baby. And getting that pullback. Let's go. VIX starting to pop here a little bit. Let's see if we can get back above that 20.5, or at least back above this 20.4 previous day's open. And so again, right, we get in that pullback here that we've been talking about. Again, I had no idea that was going to actually happen, right? But just playing probabilities, you know, and just playing better risk rewards. It was just ultimately a better looking trade here at this point. So just taking a little shot, right where I should. Again, I wasn't going to be upset or mad if it didn't work out. But just sticking to my plan. And again, this put here came from a buck, so getting back up to a buck is not a heavy ask. If we drop here a little bit more, but let's see. After this pullback, right, again, like we were talking about when you asked if I was leaning bearish here, could just be a little pullback here to go higher, right? As we approach here now, this high from yesterday on NQ, I know we cracked under on ES, but as we approach this 5-minute 21 and VWAP here, right, we could start to get a little bounce here to continue higher. But just gonna see and allow these puts to just keep working here. Back under yesterday's high on ES, so let's see if we now reject this level since we're back under it. Cracking back under zero here on tick. Let's see if we can start to print some candle bodies here below zero. And a nice little bounce here, but catching some resistance here at yesterday's high, or at Friday's high, right? So let's see if they just continue lower from here. And just gotta give it some time to work. But again, still can't be overconfident here, right? This again could just be a pullback to go higher, right? So I'm still staying hyper aware of that even though I'm in puts here. I want to see us put in a lowercase h here under Friday's high, but very hyper aware that this h could become a W and then go higher. Starting to get a little bit of an H here from NQ and ES. Well, I am trying to hold up here a little bit. VIX popping back up here again to this open from Friday. But again, they're making these opens very tough, right? We've seen a lot of rotation at the opens, just day after day after day. Just gotta give these things some time to work. And again, I'm playing tomorrow's contract, so I bought a little bit of time as well. ADD starting to really drop here, cracking under our open range buy zone. Going a little bit lower here on ES. Up to about 80 cents now on my contract from about 70 cents, right? And again, I have two. So we're up a couple bucks here as we crack a little bit lower on the indices. And as always, right, you know, I'm here trying to play smaller contracts and smaller position sizes for everybody, but if you can afford it, get closer, right? Something maybe like this 412 put for today. Let's see, still coming off its open range buy zone. I'm sorry, this is for tomorrow still. Got up about 15-20 cents from that open range buy zone, right? Let's check this 413 maybe. From these lows, $1.30, $1.40, up to $1.75 here. Not bad. Again, down to this 41.70 here. Been a tough level for ES. VIX crawling a little bit higher, little pullback here though to bring it back to that open level from Friday. And a big one here for ES, definitely VWAP here, these white triangles. So a move under VWAP should really give us the juice here in these puts. Let's see if we get it. But again, expecting here a little bit of turbulence, right? VWAP is always a likely spot for a bounce. So won't be surprised if this bounces here. But maybe we continue lower, right? Up to about 82, 83 cents here. Again, I'm not going to be too greedy here, especially because I know of the economic events we have coming up this week. We could see a lot of chop, right? I'm looking to trim up near this dollar. You know what? I'm just going to throw an order out here at like 97 cents. I'm going to let this first one sell here at about 97 cents. Q's right at this high from Friday. If we can crack under that, should get a nice little boost here to the downside. But again, on the inverse of that, could be a nice spot for a bounce here, right? NQ could bounce here at yesterday's high. ES bounce here at VWAP. Would not be surprised by that at all, right? These are great levels for a bounce. But cracking a little bit lower here on ES to this open from Friday. Up to about 85 cents here from our 70-cent entry. VIX going a little bit higher here. And Q cracking under that high from Friday. But again, we got VWAP here. Just got to get through a couple things here and we could have us a nice move to the downside. Want to check out how these contracts for today are doing. Just going to peek over to the 30th here. Ooh, and 410 was a little far for today, so I'm going to get a little closer, maybe this 413. Talking about 60 cents up to about 90 cents or a buck. Let's say we would have gone through 414. 80 cents up to a buck 36. So nothing that crazy either for even today's. Ooh, and I'm getting up here near where I plan to trim. Let's see if we hit it. Nice little downside leg here. Nice push for VIX, cracking high of day here. Oh, above this 20.5, making some moves here. And ADD still just straight down. Not a single, I guess the first candle, but just straight red candles here for ADD since the open. Come on, baby, hit my take profit. Hit my take profit. And alright, we hit my take profit. So again, I just trimmed one, right? I still have one. I've pocketed about 28 cents right there. So now I have a nice profit margin, right? This position is not going to go red on me unless we take a crazy bounce, right, and go back to high of day. So I can now manage this final contract with ease. Can't stress enough this strategy of trimming contracts, right? If you have multiple, you know, the best way you can trade here is with peace of mind, right? I now have a nice thick margin here before this position is gonna go red on me. This allows you to think more clearly as things are happening, right? Especially sometimes here in the market, like we talked about earlier, you know, market is mostly sideways. And then when they make the moves, they make them quickly, right? And that can be stressful to manage a position when it's moving so quickly. All right, so I've sold a contract here, right? Got out 97 cents. We got up to about a buck and rejected, right? Right at this open level is exactly where I expected this put to reject, right? If we start to catch a bounce here and we come back to revisit my entry, right, I'm gonna buy another one down here, right, in hopes that we make a similar move. Because if now our trend is to the downside, right, we're not gonna be straight down the entire day. There's gonna be a bounce somewhere, probably another lowercase h, right, and then maybe a continuation to the downside. So I'm looking to get into that, right? I want this to bounce, allows this put to come back down to my entry, and I can pick up another one, right? And then repeat this again. So ideally, if that does happen, right, I come down here, I pick up another one at 70 cents. Again, I already put about 30 cents in my pocket. And then if we bounce up to this open level again, right? I can pocket another 30 cents or so. This contract, I'm buying it at 70 cents. So at that point, right, I'm about 10 cents off from having that final and third contract that I'm still holding paid for. And if that doesn't happen, that's okay, right? If we're straight up from here, I'm in it. I'm okay. I'm making money. If it pulls back down here and I'm able to get another one, great, right? And we'll do it again. Hell, ideally, I would like to do that like 5 times before this breaks out the top. Which we do see that happen quite a bit, actually. But alright, y'all, getting a nice little drop here. Ultimately, the target here to the downside is this 41.50, right? We had this open level from last night here at about 41.48. This 41.50 has been a big target for us in the past, and especially here in the last couple days. So again, not surprised at all if we see 41.50 here in this downside leg. And this 41.50 to this 41.55 has been a big zone for us here as well. Still got this old point of control here at about 41.53. It was a massive level for quite some time while we were back there. Going a little bit higher here in my put, right? Just got one left now here, so this is my runner. And we're cruising from 70 cents here. Not bad, not bad. Up near 50% here. NQ down to its open level here. VIX getting up to our open range buy zone, testing it from below. Even though it's called a buy zone, it will give us some resistance when we're hitting it from below. And starting to get a little bit of a bounce here, right? Not surprised to see it here at our open range buy zone on both QQQ and SPY, right? This green zone here below our open level. We've got the daily 200 here on NQ below, right at this 14,312. And we've also got a 30-minute squeeze down at this daily 200. Also gets us down to this open range buy zone on NQ. Maybe not a bad little target here to the downside for NQ. VIX still trickling a little bit higher here, 20.7 high of day. ADD still slowly dripping down. So I'm just going to keep hanging on to this put here. Don't have a reason to sell, right? We are at some good levels for a bounce, but internal still overall giving that downside look. Again, if we get a bounce, I won't mind it at all. I'll pick up another one, hopefully down here on my entry. Or if we just keep going higher, I won't mind that at all either. because I'm in it. So just gonna keep hanging on here. And just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. Again, my next move here is either I'm going to buy another one of these if it pulls back to my entry, right? Or I'm just going to keep collecting cash on this runner that I got. And again, just try not to overthink it, right? Just trying to protect my piece here. I've already got a little bit of profit locked in on those puts, right? So I can definitely withstand a pop. If anything, I'm looking for a pop to pick up another one. Or if not, I'm just collecting cash, right? And since I'm playing a contract for tomorrow, right, even in these, oh, got a crazy wick here on SPY, down to 408, oof. Have seen you guys talking here in the chat about some wacky wicks on some individual names, just got it here on SPY as well. But Q's looking like they're going a little lower here. SPY looking like it's going to go a little lower here. Not sure about this wick, but candle body overall here. Still trying to give a downside look. Ooh, these Q puts really printed here as well. 80 cents to $1.40. Working a little bit better than this 410. Nice little bounce here in tick. Trying to go green, trying to go positive. Could maybe start to see the bounce here, right? Getting kind of a crazy candle here on VIX, going a little bit sideways at our open range buy zone. We are at this open range sell zone on ES, right? This red zone right here. And even though it's our open range sell zone, we could see some support here and a bounce. Oh, but NQ cracking a little bit lower here. Let's go, Qs. Shoot, and YM trying to hold up here in a little bit of roto, kind of holding back our SPY puts. But these Q puts working really well here as well. Looks like we're going a little bit lower here, a little bit lower on Qs, a little bit lower on SPY. I know we got a crazy wick for a low of day now on SPY. But just going to keep paying attention here to the following candles, right? Fuck that crazy wick. And I'm now up about 70% here on this 410 put. Again, this is a contract for tomorrow. VIX still trying to push a little bit higher here. Little bounce in Qs. So again, just like at the top, right? We talked about a rollover, but it took a little bit to happen, right? Same thing could happen here with a bounce. They continue to give a little downside look, but mostly go sideways, and then maybe they rip us back up to the top here. NQ coming back down below its open level. And love that we're starting to see the candle bodies here on tick stay negative. And volume has been pretty high here. You guys can see my party line here on my volume for the indices. And volume staying pretty decent. Well, I am trying to bounce here a little bit at VWAP and it's 5-minute 21. Kind of holding us back here from dropping any harder. Right, and so still seeing some rotation here. Over an hour into the session. And getting a little bit of rotation here between YM and NQ. And again, won't be surprised to see the bounce here, right? Just looking at my candles here on my put, you know, starting to struggle here a little bit to go higher. It is cracking higher, but overall price action keeps getting smacked back down. Doesn't mean we don't go lower here and this keeps cranking, but I'm just hyper aware that the bounce could come here pretty soon. And here we go, NQ starting to bounce a little bit, ES bouncing a little bit, YM still trying to hold up here. Oof, but not a super convincing bounce. Getting smacked down kind of quickly. Let's see, let's see. Oh, there we go, a little bit of a bounce. So again, y'all, just gotta wait, right? Same thing as when we are up here at the top. We're now getting some consolidation, just have to wait for a fresh direction to be picked. And ES is still up here about 22 points on the day. So still plenty left in the tank, honestly, either direction. But I'm in some puts, so I'm focusing on downside. So still plenty left in the tank in my direction, right? So again, still just gonna hold here. And that bounce getting smacked right back down. Right, if anything, I want to see a solid little bounce, right? Get back up to VWAP here, put in a nice lowercase h, and then we go lower. Looking a little tough right now. Nice bounce here for both the puts on Qs and SPY, bouncing right at that open level. Y'all know that we stress here this open level big time every single day, right? Typically we see big money here defend the open level of the side they intend to keep going. Again, doesn't mean we still won't get this bounce here, but I do like to see these puts defending this open level. Doesn't mean they won't crack under them a little bit, but overall I'm feeling pretty good about that. If it does crack under this open level, it will probably reclaim it. But again, keyword there is probably. So again, still just holding on to my position, trading with the wins in my sales, and just waiting. Man, ADD still just straight down here. But again, on VIX here, just like we were seeing earlier, right? Sideways for a while, put in a nice base, and we rip to the upside. Right, we're starting to get a little bit sideways here. Again, doesn't mean the same thing happens, but just aware that the more time we spend here and we keep curling over, the probabilities increase that we get this pop. Depending what this price action continues to look like here, let's say we pop and the H is below this 413 or below this open level, right, I might be willing to average down on this here at this VWAP, maybe around 90 cents, as opposed to my open level, or to my entry level, sorry. But again, I'm going to be careful here, right? The longer we spend here, the more it feels like a bounce is coming. Which again, I am totally for, right? If we can bounce up here, I'm picking up another contract for cheap. So again, just can't stress enough, you know, this strategy of picking up at least two, right, trimming in your direction, and then it allows you to have options from what to do from there. Right? Right now, I'm okay with the market going in either direction, right? It's a great feeling when managing a trade. If we bounce against my position, I'm ready to hop in another one, right? If we keep going lower, well, I'm already in it, so I'll keep collecting cash, right? I'm happy in either direction right now, and that is a great way to trade. Starting to roll over here a little bit again, but overall still sideways here at these levels. YM still just holding us up here. YM holding nicely here above VWAP. Oof, but NQ coming down, ES coming down a little bit more. Low of day on both. Right, if YM just happens to join this party, we will get a nice move to the downside. But right now, YM still holding us up. So again, this little zone here between 4150 on ES and 4155, definitely a tough little zone to get through. Starting to really crack into it now. Let's see, let's see. Come on, YM. Just need you to let go, baby. Crack under VWAP here. NQ down to this daily 200, right? And down to this 30-minute squeeze bottom. Again, could be a great level for a bounce. Have to be careful here. But a fresh high here on our puts, up to about $1.25. ES and SPY down to this point of control from April. Oof, a crazy bounce right here. Right, again, not surprised to see that as soon as we got to this daily 200 here on NQ. Man, a crazy bounce. YM was just holding that, ready to go. My goodness. Oof. Back down to this almost a buck here on our puts. Right, just crack this buck a little bit. Maybe I'll jump in another one here. See if we get that snap right back down. And again, we had another little push lower, but right back up to these levels, right? So this bounce could still come here at this same level we've been talking about, or these same levels, right? And Q all the way back up to that open level. Could start to hold here. Not a bad bounce here, but still keeping an eye here on the call side, right? Always got to keep an eye on the other side here. We still got a little bit more room to fall here on this 350 call for QQQ for tomorrow and this 415 call, right? So wouldn't be surprised if we ultimately got down and tested here our B zone on both of these contracts. So just going to keep holding here. See if we start to get that H we've been talking about. Right? Tick getting smacked right back down to negative here. VIX with a little fade, but trying to hold up here at this zone still. And again, I want to see these calls here get down to beast. And again, I'm ready to hop into another put here on this bounce, right? I want to see what this H is going to look like. You know, can we go a little bit higher maybe? Maybe reach this 5-minute 21 before rolling back over. And again, just like up here, right? How long will that take? I'm not sure, right? But I don't want to buy it on the first candle. Gonna let this baby keep working, right? I want to see this 410 put here hit about 90 cents or so maybe. And we've had a good move down, right? Just simple law of averages here, right? Quite some time here going straight down. Let's see another little bounce here before maybe continuing to the downside. And just while we wait around here for this pop to happen, just a little reminder to anyone new here with us that's new to predicted trades. Just a little reminder that you can join our Discord server for free in the description of this video. Got a ton of free resources available to you as soon as you join. Tons of just general market education. If you're new to options, got tons of information here for you. We trade options and futures here every day, so it might be worth your time checking us out here. Ooh, and popping a little bit higher here, right? This is what we were talking about. All right, and let's put getting down here to about 90 cents. We're getting up here to this 5-minute 21. Close to VWAP here on SPY and ES. ES getting up to VWAP here. Ooh. Let's see. I'm ready to hop into another one here to see if we continue to the downside. Pulling back here a little bit quick. Let's see if we got another pop, right? Maybe get us under 90 cents or so. Another little pop coming here. NQ popping nicely. Up to that open range sell zone again, right? So again, reaching some levels here that we could pull back at. I'll take another one here, 91 cents. Why not? Come on. Come back to me, baby. There you go. Fill me at 90. Alright, so I'm in at 90. Let's hope I don't regret it here. Immediately cracking under. Well, my average is now 80 cents, right? I had a contract at 70. I just bought one at 90. Average is 80, right? But again, I still have about 30 cents in my pocket profit from that original one. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room even under this 80 cents. But alright, gonna let this chill now. Alright, again, not gonna overthink this here now. I'm in it, just gonna give it some time to work. And again, we're up to some good levels for a rejection, right? We're up to VWAP here on ES. We're up to this open range sell zone on NQ as well as the 5-minute 21 and VWAP. And again, could look like this curl over up here, right? Might take a couple candles for it to happen, if it happens. But again, I'm at some good levels here to just put on some risk, right? If we crack above this open range sell zone, if we crack above these VWAPs, then I'll start to think about bailing out, right? Or at least trimming that contract that I still have in profit. VIX down to 20.5 here. Could be a spot for a bounce. And so again, just want to give this lowercase h some time to work, right? Some time to happen. No idea if it happens, but this is a very typical downside pattern we see every single day, typically multiple times a day. You let that push get up to that 5-minute 21 and or VWAP, and we take that entry, right? But again, just a reminder, you know, this is a good entry either direction, right? We start to get this tight little range here in this lowercase h. If we do ultimately get the reversal here, this is a good little range to enter to the upside. So starting to pull back here a little bit, right? Nothing crazy. YM pulling back a little bit here as well. And again, I'm just playing into the trend here, right? Again, doesn't mean that this trend won't change here, but as of right now, I'm playing into the current trend. So just not overthinking this, right? Just keeping it simple. This is a pullback in a downside move. I'm just going to continue to play my probabilities and play with the trend. eventually I'm going to be wrong about one of my predictions, right? But until then, I just keep playing the probabilities that are on my side until failure. Back up to $1 here. Right, got in at 90 cents for what is now my current second contract. And so I'm just looking to do something similar, right? If we get back up to these highs, $1.25 or so, I'm gonna trim that contract that I picked up at 70 cents, right? Locking in about 50 something cents right here. I will then have locked in about 80 cents total or so, right? And then my runner, I paid 90 cents for. So that means I would have to get to 10 cents for me to go negative on the entire position, right? I'm feeling good about that. Hasn't happened yet, right? But so far, getting my plan here. So just gonna wait and let this happen. So getting that H here a little bit, right? Starting to curl over a little bit. Still not out of the water here just yet, right? Need this to come back down to the bottom of this H and flush. And keeping an eye on my internals, right? ADD. Looking like it's trying to base here, right? Not good for our puts here. But again, after a hard drop, not popping too hard. So just gotta keep being patient here, right? Definitely an H on VIX is what I don't want to see, right? I want VIX to keep going higher to drive this market lower. Starting to get a little bit of an H here on VIX. But again, still just within this range of the H. I'm going to be patient here as long as we're below the top of this wick. Just got to give it some time to work. Starting to get another nice little pop here. YM trying to pop above this wick. Ooh, doing it here on YM. Nice little pop here in tick. Best looking tick here in quite some time. But again, still under VWAP here on ES. Still trying to crack through this 5-minute 21. Ooh, VIX here starting to flush this 20.5 a little bit. Don't want to see that. NQ cracking above this wick right here. Don't want to see that either. But again, still overall green on my position. Still just got to give this a little bit of time to play out here. And always looking to the other side, right? These calls popping back up to their open level. So let's see if big money allows them to reject here right at this open level. I'm going to be surprised if this 350 call catches a rejection here while Qs catch a rejection here at like VWAP. Ooh, and VIX a little bit lower here, getting back down to this open level from Friday, and ES cracking a little bit higher. So starting to break out of this H a little bit. If I had started a new put position, right, a new short position in this H, I would be looking to bail out around here as we crack out the top of the H. But again, I've got a little bit of profit in my pocket from my opening moves. Just going to give this another little chance here to pull back again. A nice little peak here above VWAP for both NQ and ES. But again, up to this 4170, tough level here for ES. And again, always just keeping an eye here on certain levels for reversals. Right, we're at this open level from Friday on ES. We're at this open level from Friday for VIX. Both could see a reversal right here. And so just going to keep giving this some time to work. And if we do keep struggling here near these VWAPs, we don't start going higher here soon, might even look to buy another one here at my actual original entry. Well, I am cracking a high of day here. Let's see if it can actually hold above this level. Trying to go a little bit higher here though on the indices. Nice little drive up here from Tick and from ADD. Tick not too wild though. ADD on a better climb. YM really getting the love here. But still not too stressed, right? You know, they're buying a decent amount of YM. NQ had a nice pop as well. But continuing to see like one stall, one pop. You know, a little bit of rotation, a little bit lighter on the rotation, but still kind of happening here and there. Gonna go ahead and hop into another one of these here at about 77 cents, 78 cents, okay. And again, just taking the little shot here at these VWAPs to see if we now get some downside after this nice pop. Got some squeeze tops here for NQ to deal with. Could smack us back down. YM running by itself to the upside. Just don't really see that happening for too long. Let's see if we get a combined move here back down. But alright, y'all, I'm going to wrap up my session here. Hope everyone stayed safe here this morning. We did get a couple nice legs here, right? Even with some rotation here and there, they did let this market move here a little bit, even if ultimately we have gone nowhere, right? Again, we have Powell in that interest rate decision here on Wednesday, so won't be surprised if we see a lot of waiting through Wednesday. And again, we got a couple decent earnings coming up here this week. We've got AMD tomorrow after the bell, Apple Thursday after the bell. You know, so just stay hyper aware of these things happening, and don't be surprised if we see a lot of chop or a lot of waiting for those things to happen, right? But alright, y'all, hope everyone here has a great rest of your Monday. Stay safe out there, and I will catch y'all again here Thursday morning for my next session. Alright? Hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I'll catch y'all later.